Around 2 weeks ago, I released a video detailing how the Jehovah's Witnesses are experiencing a decline globally. A few of you asked for me to mention other countries, so this is part 2 of that video. Just a quick disclaimer, these figures are from the service report and not the yearbook. I made an error in the last video. Also, I'm going to compare peak figures from 2017 and 2023, and then we're also going to look at the average they had in 2023 or last year. And these countries are not in any order. I just picked countries that you guys mentioned, and I added a few countries that I've been seeing in my comment section. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Firstly, we have Australia. Australia in 2017 had almost 68,000, and then in 2023 they had 71,000, and then the average for 2023 was 70,244. They did not experience any growth in Australia. Someone said they did. You lied in the comment section because they didn't. They are at -1%, so no growth in Australia. Then we move on to Germany. Germany in 2017 was just at 165,000. Then in 2023, they were at 174,000, almost 175,000. Currently, the average is 173,000 about. I'm just going to round off figures to make this video move quick. So in 2023, Germany had an average of almost 173,000, and they saw a growth of 3% apparently. Now, I just want to say that some of these figures, I do believe, allegedly, that they are not correct. I think that where we are seeing a growth is probably countries where people are having more children within the organization. And I also want to say that they are not minusing people who are inactive or even disfellowship, because how is the Jehovah's Witnesses growing when so many people are leaving? So again, I think these numbers are a bit seasoned. So keep that in mind. Now let's move on to South Africa. South Africa in 2017 just had 104,000 publishers. Then in 2023 they were at 100,000 publishers. And then the average in 2023 was just over 98,000. Allegedly they saw a growth of 2%. I don't know if there's growth truly. There's someone actually in a JW group on Facebook who's from South Africa and actually mentioned that a circuit overseer was very upset because the figures are just so low, and they're angry at people because people are leaving, especially since COVID. Let me move on to Venezuela. Venezuela in 2017 just had over 149,000 publishers. In 2023, the peak figure was 134,000 publishers. However, the average for 2023 was 131,000, almost 132,000 publishers, and they saw a growth of 1% apparently. I don't know, guys. I don't know. This was very surprising. So we move on to Ukraine. Ukraine in 2017 had 140,300 publishers. Then in 2023, they had a peak of 109 active publishers. However, in 2023, their average was only 105 active publishers, and Ukraine saw a decrease of -14%. This is probably due to the conflict currently taking place in that part of the world. So maybe that's why they're seeing such a steep decline. But I do think that it's probably less than this, to be honest. Now we move on to Burundi. Burundi in 2017 saw a number of 13,000, almost 14,000 active publishers. Then in 2023, they had a peak of just over 18,000 publishers or active publishers. The average, though, is just over 17,000 active publishers in Burundi, and apparently they saw a 5% increase in that country. Yeah, you guys can see for yourself. I don't know if they saw growth, but maybe they did. It's an African country, Burundi, and it's definitely possible for them to see a growth, as we've seen with the previous video that the Jehovah's Witnesses definitely exploit and target developing countries. So You never know, honestly, with them. Now let's move on to Ghana, the Black Stars. Ghana in 2017 just had over 135,000 active publishers. That was the peak. And then the peak for 2023 was 153,000 publishers. And the average for 2023 is just over 150,000, and they saw a growth of 2%. Ghanaians, really? Are there more Jehovah's Witnesses now? Are you guys really growing? Come on, Ghanaians. And then we have Canada. Canada really surprised me because it's next to America that has just over 1 million active publishers. So I was quite surprised. In 2017, they just had over 115,000 active publishers. The peak of 2023 was just over 120, and then on average, they have almost 120 active publishers. They saw a 0% increase. This makes a lot of sense. Then we go on to Peru. So in 2017, Peru had just over 128,000 active publishers. Then in 2023, it was at 133,000 active publishers. These are peak figures, let's not forget. And then the average is, of course, 130,000 active publishers. And then Peru saw a growth rate of 1%. Peru people, what's going on? What's going on, Peru people? Let's go to South Korea. South Korea in 2017 just had over 100,000 active publishers. These are the peak numbers. Then in 2023, it was at 106,000 publishers. And then the average for 2023 was 106,000 active publishers. They did not share a growth rate, but I definitely do think that South Korea is experiencing a decline because the same issues that Japan is experiencing. Remember the last video that I shared? If you have not seen it, go check it out. But Japan is investigating the Jehovah's Witnesses, and the same issues that they have with second generation followers is the same issue that South Korea actually has. So I do expect to see a decline there, especially also with Jehovah's Witnesses being forced to go to the military and they can't go. I know that they've made amends to that rule. South Korea, you are all forced, I think men, yes, just the men, they're all forced to serve in the military, and Jehovah's Witnesses did not serve in the military, so they would actually get arrested. But now they've actually made an amendment to the rule to accommodate Jehovah's Witnesses where they do actually conscript, where they actually do go to the military, but they just do administrative work, apparently. Now let's move on to France. Paris. In France, 2017, they saw 128,000 active publishers, almost 130. Then the peak for 2023 was at 138,000 active publishers, and then the average for that year was 136, almost 137 active publishers. And in France, they're seeing a growth rate of 1%. And then we go on to the UK. The UK in 2017 had just over 137 active publishers. And then in 2023, it was at 142,000 active publishers. Then the average is 140 active publishers. Poland also saw a growth rate, and in 2017, it was at 118,000 active publishers. In 2023, it was at 116 active publishers. Wow, that's actually quite low. So there was a decrease there in Poland. And then the average is at 115,000 active publishers, and they saw a growth rate of 2%. Now let's go on to Rwanda. Rwanda in 2017 had just under 29,000 active publishers. In 2023, that figure was at 33,000 active publishers, and then the average for 2023 was 31,716, and Rwanda saw a 6% increase. Rwanda people, I don't understand why you're going to the Jehovah's Witnesses. Rwanda is actually one of the safest countries in Africa, and also one of the fastest developing countries in Africa. I think it's called actually the Singapore of Africa, or it's compared to Singapore. Not sure about that, I'll make sure. But Rwanda is quite developed, quite good. If you're a person who's looking to start a business, look into Rwanda. It's actually great for entrepreneurs, and they are seeing a growth rate. And I'm like, guys, your life is good right now. What do you want there? What do you want with Jehovah's Witnesses? Life is too good right now. Stop it. Stop it. Then lastly, we have Spain. They had 112 112,000 active publishers, almost 113,000 in 2017. This was their peak figures. Then in 2023, the peak figure was just over 122,000 active publishers, and the average for 2023 was 121 active publishers, and Spain saw a 1% increase. So yeah, those are the figures. I definitely still think that they are doctored. I do think that they are much lower than this because a lot of people are leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses, and a lot of people are also physically in and mentally out. And some of us have disassociated, but we do know that the Jehovah's Witnesses have not removed us from these figures. So it's probably a lie that these numbers are of active Jehovah's Witnesses, allegedly. But yeah, for me, I know that I'm definitely part of those figures in South Africa because I also just faded. I did not officially disassociate or leave. And for those that care to know, is that I did this because I don't owe anyone an explanation, guys. My faith, my belief system is my business and no one else's business. And I did not sign up to this religion. I was born into this religion. I literally just opened my eyes and I was in a cult. Imagine. So I'm not going to explain myself to anyone for leaving or whatever the case may be. So that's why I just left and faded and didn't really disassociate or anything. These people don't own me. I did not sign any contract, baby. Even though I was baptized. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.